Hey everyone, you're catching me in better spirits today because I was quite sad on Sunday. I woke up and I was just thinking, "Kumbaya, my lord," or just real sad songs. But you've got me on happier day. Disappointment of Saturday is kind of out of my head, and here to help bring me on my journey on my 12-step program is Nathan Williamson. We're quite a little team this year with Nick being, I don't know, ruling himself out through injury from the pods.
Or other reasons. I mean, we can insert the clips at some point, or maybe even at the end. But yeah, we were supposed to record this last night, and then him and I don't want to say podcast regular, but again, another one of the Connor Uami, Lockie Gray, aka Scrumbags, decided to get themselves involved in trivia, and it's a wild ride. So I'll kind of, you know what, whoever's editing this, put their clip in right
now. I guess it would probably be me editing it, but to set the scene, they went to this trivia and it was the worst trivia ever, and we were getting sent photos of the questions. One question which Nick mentions in the clip is they were shown a picture of 3 cats and they go, which one's the tabby? And the first one was multicolored, like purple and green and red and shit. Second one is black and white. The third one is brown and black like a tabby. It was awful. And then the follow-up question was, what do you call it when you cut off a limb in a surgical procedure? So hard-hitting questions. Yeah.
I won't judge the Newcastle IQ, but yeah, it was interesting.
Anyway, after all that, they came fourth.
Yeah. So joke's on them.
Yeah. I was answering questions for them.
Meanwhile, we were just waiting to record. I was, declined pro clubs, ready to go, and then they didn't even podium.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Nathan was getting "babe, where you at" texts all over.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I've got a business. I'm a professional.
It's like my childhood over again. And my young teens and my adult history, and pretty much everything.
And future, yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. The team got announced today. Let's start there. There'll be talking teams around, but we're also going to be talking teams. So let's kind of talk about this team sheet, Nathan, and what it reflects from last week, if anything.
I mean, I can break it down for you. Big boys back, big meaty men, slap and meat. Valentini, Skelton, 2 big inclusions. Valentini came off the bench. That's a new one, sort of working his way back into the game. It was more of, it's not an injury sort of related thing. It's just Tom Hooper's been amazing. So they were like, well, we're not going to mess with that combo he's got with McWright and Wilson. Skelton comes straight back in with Nick Frost, partnering the second row. New halves as well. Jake Gordon, Tane Edmond, the mighty Waratah combination right there. Super Rugby AUS finalists, New South Wales Waratahs, thank you very much. I should correct myself there. Unlike the Brumbies and Reds. So Gordon and Edmond back. Gordon back from injury. Edmond back from being an unused sub last week. Other changes, Dungunu on the wing, a bit more aerial presence. Very good defensive-wise, and also has been great off the bench in terms of attacking. So he comes in for Toole. And then just a couple other changes on the bench. Josh Nasser in, Tom Robinson in for Angus Bell. There's a bit of a rib complaint, which got aggravated on Tuesday, so that's why Bell's not there. And Josh Luke, so in the 23, again, versatile, good guy, has sort of grinded his way through whether it was playing for the Reds or sort of working through training to get to the spot. So, that's basically team in about 60 seconds.
Well done, Nathan. I remember when you used to do those 60-second wrap-ups, and now you're doing the team. Well done. Who are you most excited to see back in? And if you're going to say Skelton, don't say Skelton.
All right, well, I'll change my answer then. Honestly, Valentini off the bench. It's such an interesting prospect because we see what he does. We see how he can change a game to start with, but against even more fatigued bodies, that's an interesting sort of prospect, right? It's quite clear the All Blacks have gone for power with the side they've named. Like they're going balls to the wall, and some of that is injury force as well. But we're going to need I think by the time we get to the second half, we're going to need a injection of just sheer fucking power. And that is Valentini and Tupou is a dangerous combo to be bringing on at any stage of a game. So, like, that's a different role for Bobby. It intrigues me.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting. I mean, look, I think Tom Hooper has played really fucking well, and he deserves everything coming his way. He's been a rock up front, so I'm glad that he's continuing to kick on. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Will Skelton firing up. It came out during the week that he said it wasn't feasible for him to get to New Zealand, but he could have got to Auckland at 3:30 a.m. 2 days before the first game. Come on, brother, you could have been there if you really wanted it, mate. You really wanted it.
Sweet. Okay, imagine if having to fly in. Like James O'Connor was risky enough, and he was there the entire week, let alone 2 days before a test.
And I forgot about that. No wonder he missed kick for touch 3 times.
I don't know. Like he had a full week of training. Like again, kicking for touch is something you should just hit regardless. Ken should be able to do that sort of with their eyes closed. But the point I was going to make is like it's tough enough for us normal humans to try and like be active or run around 2 days after getting on a flight. How the fuck does Will Skelton do it? Like that man is massive. That man takes up 2 seats. He's that tall and just like built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to sit next to him on the flight. Maybe you would. Maybe you would. Ask him many questions.
Yeah.
So that's all kind of going on. What else we got? Corey Toole. I kind of think that experiment hasn't really worked out last 3 games. So funny that he had his best game against South Africa. I think the aerial contest is really funny in how we're the worst at it. It seems at the moment, which is crazy. Like kudos to Argentina in particular, but we're the worst at it. When we play rugby league and AFL, which both have very good jumping, that's a huge part of the contest. So, reflecting on the game on the weekend, we were really poor there. So hopefully, Daugunu. I mean, I like Daugunu. I love his progression. Just from a so-so player to a really dependable winger. And he's got a bit of that Corabetti dog in him. It just keeps going, loves hitting rucks. So I'm excited to see him in there. Fluke, I'm not really across because he's, dirty Queenslander. Not really across his skills.
He's born in Sydney, I'm pretty sure, so he counts.
Okay, yeah. Where's Sydney? That's in Queensland.
Queensland's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Well done, mate. Good pipes on you. What else we got? I mean, a lot of people again were like LSL unlucky for the last fucking time. Him and Skelton are the same kind of enforcer, except Skelton is, extra large, whereas Lucan's merely extra large. So shut the fuck up about that.
It's the same player, but Skelton is like the best at the world at it, and Salcaloto is still very good. Maybe like top 5 at it. The problem is the best in the world at it is back. So
it's that same old bullshit. We have 2 good players in the same role, and all the media's on that. It's like Pocock and Hooper or Liam Gill. Fuck. And Lucan, I love Lucan. I thought he played really well on the weekend, but it's just it's like being a right winger who cuts in on his left playing for Argentina. Not going to happen. My Messi's there.
No, it's called depth. Like we're not used to it. And also when you look at the bench as well, like if you have Valentini, who's more of a 6 and an 8, you probably need a smaller second rower. Like let me correct that. You need a Jamie Williams type character who can move around the back line, move around the back row and second row should something happen and you need him to slot in there. Like it makes sometimes. Yeah, it's the exact same thing that happened
at the end of the game.
Harry Wilson coming through the system, I think 22, maybe I think it was 2022 or 2024, one of the, before he was captain, it was like either Harry starts or he's not the team. Like,
yeah,
sometimes that just happens.
Yeah. So yeah. BPA. So explain the hooker merry-go-round. I don't know if that's a harsh term.
But
BPA's out.
It's interesting, right? My understanding is they love Josh Nash's scrummaging, but he's a converted prop, basically. So he provides some real sort of mongrel in that set piece area. And look, if it was to me, I'd pick BPA. I think he's a better finisher in terms of his impact with his ball carry. But maybe they're looking at what the sort of All Blacks are bringing scrum wise, with sort of I think Fletcher Newell now starting, and I think Tamati Williams and Fletcher Newell with who's finishing it? George Bower and Tossie. So maybe a bit more bigger bodied front rowers that they want to maybe match up with. I'm not quite sure, but again, it's just one of those ones. Joe Schmidt's always been a fan of Josh Nasser, and it's just I think it's got to come down to that scrummaging aspect.
Yeah. Now moving on to another kind of thing that shits me is the number 10 merry-go-round chatter. Look, I perfectly understand the frustrations that we don't have a 10 in there, but none of the 10s are putting their hand up, except for maybe Jock, but he's kind of, he's towards the end of his career. I just shits me, man. Like, the 10 merry-go-round continues. We don't have an outstanding candidate. It's not like a scrum half.
It's almost the reverse of the scrum half in the sense of like we have two very good scrum halves in Jake and Tate. But the 10's just, I mean, and Tom Liner's not fit for that. Joe didn't say what he was, but he said he just wasn't at full speed, which tends to think that he sort of tweaked something else. If Tom Liner was fit, he probably starts. But also, given his history with concussion, I don't mind the fact they're going to take a bit longer with him. Let's not cook the kid's brain at 22, 23 years old. Again, that's reality. Yeah, you're right. Like, we don't have a 10. Like, the merry-go-round stops when we have a 10 that steps up. And James O'Connor has been good in the Rugby Championship, but he missed touch 3 times or 2 or 3 times on the weekend.
He missed it 3 times because one time it bounced before it went out.
Yeah.
But no one was there. And then he kicked it out in the full.
Tane gets his shot. And yes, the Montoya chives down try, it looks bad. It's also like, there's a point I want to make. He was 5 meters offside when he chives that down. No hookers made that run. Like, it's kind of like lamenting a player for throwing a cutout ball and a player who's 5 meters offside takes it and scores the try. You yell at that player, like, oh, well, why'd you throw that ball? Well, then the play's on if old mate's onside. Like, that's the thing. No hookers moving that quickly. And Schmidt sort of alluded to it today as well. It's like, I reckon he would have got, and this is not coming from any knowledge whatsoever, I reckon they would have got an apology being like, look, he wasn't back 10. No fucking way a hooker moves that quickly to charge it down 10 meters. It took 4 steps.
And he did the 50-22. Not long after with an amazing banana kick. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there were signs that he actually was able to sort of rally and control his game. And in terms of combinations, Gordon and O'Connor might have a little bit of time together throughout sort of just their passings. But if you notice that ball time together, the Waratahs combo. Gordon and Edmund. I think they're 3-2 this year. And that is saying something in a Waratahs team that was not that good this year. So,
and the final of Super Oz, though.
Yeah. Can't say that Brummies in Red's hands.
Yeah. Nick Wasiliev can't say that.
Nick Wasiliev. Basically straight to Nick. Nick has called for this competition for part-time, and his team's run last.
Yeah. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Ironically, his team ran the same position as his trivia team, 4th.
Yeah. This is easy.
This Super Rugby is easy, 4th.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I forgot what I was going to say. I mean, if we don't get sucked into the refs, maybe not now. And then what else? I mean, Len Ikitau, we talked about at the end of the instant reaction. He is a living, walking, breathing rugby machine god. Or is it God Machine? He's fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah. What a king. I mean, just imagine as a Brumbies fan, you know, he's coming back next year to play Super, and you've seen what he did. He's done, and you're like, you just get excited again, you know.
Oh wait, he's going to Exeter for the year on the sabbatical.
Yes. Well, Nick, how about that? Yeah, and Max at fullback. I'm not sure if we talked about the instant reaction a whole lot. I wasn't blown away by him at fullback. Granted, it's probably at test level, it's a completely another game again. You know, standard, just the tactical awareness and the decision making. Not that I think he was poor at either, but yeah, he just didn't blow it away. But I mean, maybe that's just a high ball strategy. We need a high ball coach. Where's Mick the kick when you need him?
Get him back. Get him back.
Get him back.
A little tough when you're sort of going up against Will Jordan. And even still, I just don't think either fullback was that involved in the game last week. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it does happen. It's interesting. They're playing against South Africa. The wingers got so much of the ball, but our last 3 games, it's been completely different. I mean, you get the ball, but it's very quick. It's 1 20-meter carry down the ground, and that's it. Moving on. Now, something I've been really struggling with all week. And you do kind of hate to talk about it. You never want to talk about it, but it's the refereeing, and it's the refereeing. Not so much. I think there's a lot to unpack here, but it's not so much of we lost because of the refs. Like, absolutely not. I think if the score was the same and the same penalties were called, let's say, and O'Connor hadn't missed those kicks, you would say, okay, it was the referee, but he missed those kicks, and there's very easy things, like you said before. You have to do it in the dark, you know. But one thing I've been really struggling with, and look, it's very difficult, and all power to the ref, but there were just a couple of things that happened, and you just kind of go, I've got no fucking idea. I mean, the ping for the mall getting collapsed. Now, apparently, someone said that's because Tom Hooper changed his bind, or Nick Frost changed his bind to tackle the guy off the ball. I had no idea at the time watching it what happened, right? So maybe that's one thing. Maybe it's communication. They have to say this is what's happened more clearly. And I know that's difficult and another thing of its own. Like, you know, I guess the TV crew don't really know. Things happen really fast. How are you going to say? So that's really disappointing. The other thing is, I just feel like a lot of the penalties, and I think about the tip tackle, the fucking tip tackle on James O'Connor. We have, for the last almost 10 years, I'm not so sure how long, that's been a penalty. And it wasn't a penalty, it was fine. And then yet there's that no arms call on Harry Wilson on the ground that gets called back. And it's just this total disconnect between, you know, you say you always want consistency, but it's just that gutting, what the fuck can you do about this? Like, it's not remotely consistent. Never mind that guy running through the ruck, and maybe Nathan, you can save me there. I mean, do you remember the All Blacks guy just kind of waded through the ruck on his feet? I remember it clearly. It was fucking bizarre. Wallabies were running left to right.
Oh, is that when Lonergan tries to take, essentially tries to pick the ball up, and he just kind of comes through, cleans him out, and it's like, all right, fair play.
No, not that one. It was another one. It looked like the All Black just walked through the middle of the ruck.
Yeah, no idea. Could not remember it off the top of my head, which is, yeah. Look, it's been a long time since. It's been 5 days removed from the game. Drake's been had since. Hello? Oh, you still there? The referees come get you. They got him. And he's gone.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Right.
You back?
Yeah. Internet just glitched.
Oh shit! Brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
I thought the rest might have got you.
Yeah, might have. Okay, sorry. Let me start that one again.
Yeah.
Start again. I need to be way more focused on this one. Okay, so let's talk about refereeing. Look, one thing that's really got my goat over the last couple games is there's the refereeing has kind of justifiably been a bit over the shop. Not justifiably, we can all see it's been a bit over the shop. Yeah, you never want to blame them. You never want to blame them. And I'm definitely not saying that we lost because of the ref. And it's incredibly rare that you could ever say that. And when you do say that, it's a howler, it's a crazy one, like the we play, right? That kind of bullshit. But I'm just one thing. Okay, number one thing I'm really frustrated about. I've got no idea what the call is. I've got no fucking idea, and there's no clear replay of what's happening. A lot of times, like I didn't know what Harry Potter got done for. I didn't know that he had said to Harry Wilson, like, that's the last one. If there's something you can flash up on the screen, maybe that's more the TV thing. Maybe that, and I'm sure it's really hard, but that adds to a lot of the frustration, right? Second thing is this hometown replay stuff, and you just don't see it. So I'm sure probably what's happened when at the Bledisloe is that they'll get in the feed from Eden Park, and you're only going to play, and everyone does it, right? You're only going to play what you can see back. But there's just a lot of shit that you don't see, and you got no idea. I had no idea what Harry Potter got called for, like I said. I mean, looking back at it, I see why it was penalised. He had his hands on the ground. And you can kind of talk about, the ruck got formed kind of thing, and he gave a yellow card. You can kind of talk about that, but I don't really want to. But the thing that really got my goat was that tip tackle on James O'Connor, which for the last 10 years has been a penalty. At worst, it's been a yellow card. I don't think it's a yellow card or a red card, but it's a fucking penalty. And then to think that they called back for Harry Wilson doing a chop tackle, without without using his arms. Yeah. Just really gets my fucking goat. That's just the simple consistency that you kind of want. Really frustrating. And to feel, people go, oh, the Wallabies got penalised all these times. You look at these penalties. Well, that's the point. That's the point we're trying to make, is that they shouldn't have been penalised for all that. And I'm not saying go into the rucks. Like every ruck, there's probably 1,000 penalties to be called if you really wanted to. And that's kind of fine. I don't really care about, not straight line out calls. That's whatever. Neither here nor there. But it was that and the knock on with Bowden Barrett that they just didn't see. And then you have, I think it was Corey Tuolaki Lonergan caught the ball high, or Harry Potter did. And it dropped. It was a contestable kick in the air.
Yeah, I can't remember who, but I know the incident.
It dropped straight down. Oh, it's a knock on, and you just don't see the Bowden Barrett. And worse, it was right in front of him. And I remember the Argentinian game, Kremer got Swiley high. Like if you get Swiley high, you are high. Like it's not like Cheslin Colby. You are high, and the ref's right there, and the team had to go, head high. So I find that just incredibly frustrating. On top of that, there's this comment from some quarters that we cannot talk about the ref, this Puritan, self-flagellating, oh, you got to be better. I agree with that in kind of practice, but you can talk about the fucking refs. And it's not talking about, oh, they robbed us. None of that bullshit. But I've read widely, Nathan, this week and listened widely, and there's been a couple of things that have come up. So one thing you and Mackenzie said on his podcast with Eddie Jones, I say don't seek it out because you listen to this one. Keep listening to this one. He said he preferred it when it was just the ref on the ground in the middle saying, I'm going to run it how I want. And he made a really good point that with the TMO, now you've got these kind of competing ideas about how to run a game. And they're kind of controlled by World Rugby's reffing body that just wants to eliminate mistakes. So it's a completely kind of different feel, and everyone knows the frustration with the TMO, just kind of needling and getting bits and bobs. So that's an interesting kind of argument. And yes, I understand that you could have a robot referee who's been designed by the latest German and Japanese technology to every call right. And people still wouldn't be happy. I get that. That's what I'm saying. I always feel that they should come out and say, this is the ref. Be a bit more honest. This is the ref. This is what it's going to call. And then maybe, I don't know if you want to do a post-match ref conference. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to bring scrutiny onto it, but I just think there's something that someone smarter than me can kind of figure out. Whether that's the head of the referee saying, yeah, look, these kind of things were done. Whether that's having a flag system like an American football. Again, what I said about rucks being 1,000 penalties in a ruck, you can have the flag out and the flag will be like, oh, he was off his feet, and they have to do a minutiae motion replay to get it. I don't know. Yeah, that's a reason not to do the flags, because you could get so much shit. But maybe that's an idea. And another interesting idea I heard as well was that in, I think, the AFL, the players vote for their favorite refs. So the grand final gets voted in. I don't know if you've heard that the grand final ref gets voted in by players. So maybe that's another angle for this. And another thing I heard as well, I mean, and Phil Waugh said it, I heard him quoted, I saw him quoted as saying that we want the best refs. And if that means Ben O'Keefe is reffing a Bledisloe, so be it. So maybe that's another approach. But it's just so, frustrating. And Harry Jones from, the 8 and 9 podcast, again, don't go listen to it. Listen to this one. He did this piece on the raw of all these different calls. And the one he missed out? I mean, this is the thing with referee calls. It's not the ones that called or the easy ones that got missed, but he didn't mention the Artie Sarvea on the ground tackled one where he crawled along the ground. He's like, oh, I didn't think it was. It's just I don't want to do Nick Berry fucking whinges for an hour. I'm not into that. You know what? If you ask me, I'm not really sure what I want. I think I just want better communication and better understanding what the fuck's going on. Figure that out. Maybe give them little mics like they do in American football. Thoughts, Nathan?
This is real. I'm not a crackpot, I swear. Type energy. Old man yells at clouds.
No, I'm absolutely not a crackpot.
Where do I start with this? Firstly, I love the idea of what's got my goat. Is that what you led this with about 8 minutes ago? That's good. That's stuck with me. Fine. All right, let's go back to the start here. I think your instance of why didn't I explain it comes from the fact watching at a pub, you're gonna miss stuff out. But yeah, the idea of just something in the right hand corner that pops up that says, again, penalty, this, or referee, like take the quote, take the 6 words, like Andre Parati, Wallabies, this is your warning. Next penalty bin. Just flash up on the screen, and you're like, all right, I'll share. Like, sometimes I think rugby should just lean into the fact that it's complicated, so let's over-explain things. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining, particularly around the laws of rugby, that they're being treated like children by over-explaining things during games. Like, it can't be a hard thing. In terms of consistency around calls, like, and home, like we've talked about the home broadcast before. Like, it's going to happen regardless. That's just it. Like, the home field refereeing has always been a thing. Like, it always will be a thing. It's just a natural thing. Naturally, that's what happens. But like, again, with press conferences and stuff like that, no referee should do it. Like, because the referee honestly will probably come out and say, "Hey, I made a mistake," and that's even worse because then they cop criticism for just being human and being like, "Hey, look, I made a mistake." Like,
and there's no real good solution to that.
There isn't. Like,
game? No.
Yeah.
Like,
what essentially what sort of thing boils down to is rugby is just one of those sports which is just full of grey areas, and ultimately mistakes happen when you are calling a game live like this. What might be happening, which can be sort of a bit more tailored to what you sort of were suggesting, is the idea of just putting a bit more power on the referee to make the call and decision. Because I feel like certain referees, and maybe Andrea Parati was a bit. I think Keith in the past has as well. There's no slight on them, but again, have been more. All right, I'm gonna let the game play, and if something's happened, the team will pick it up. Instead of I'm gonna back my judgment and make the call. Again, that's which look, it happens. It's fine. Like it's a valid way of doing it in its own way. It's just about finding the right balance, and that's all it's missing. Like it's nothing too crazy. It's just that sort of balance of what makes a game flow, but also is sort of controlling coming at the right moments and just sort of making an impact. Because there's another part of it. Like, I feel like the best example of this is when it comes to decisions around tries. And we're now seeing at the point of a bit more decisions being made after a conversion's been taken. I'm not a fan of that. I think, and this is not ref bashing. This is just sort of, again, all about finding that balance. Like, we are allowed to slow. We can become so obsessed with how long game is that we do sort of, again, can maybe just take away from the spectacle a little bit by, conversion's been made and all of a sudden we'll bring a try back. Like, don't be afraid to sort of make a call and then something happen. Like, I think essentially to sum up just sort of your point, it's all about just tweaking with it. It's finding that balance. That we just off that game might have just been missing that balance that was necessary to make a couple of those calls in the run, not sort of relying on Timo, or where if a situation sort of stuffed and gone, then you've all of a sudden missed something. So that's all it is. It's just tweaking that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, totally. And even on that, like, even if it was very clearly Timo looks at every try. And this is another thing too. You see something, and sorry, Mum's trying to call me. You see something, and you kind of go, "Oh, what about that? Like, didn't he step out?" And I just want them to say, "We've checked that. It's okay."
Yeah, but the ref can't be like on the mic the entire time. He can't be the fourth commentator. Sometimes you just got to accept and be like, all right, if it's not been pulled back, it must have been checked.
Yeah. No, I mean, like in a try situation, they're doing replays and stuff. Let's say that's an easy time to do it. And yeah, sure. Like what I said, like before, when I don't really know what I want. I mean, even saying stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you're not a fourth commentator. There's a lot going on. Maybe is that what the TMO's saying? Or that's fine. Is it like that mic situation I said with American football, which again is really easy because they have clear breaks every 5 seconds where they can talk. But yeah, I just find that so frustrating. I mean, number one thing is the communication about stuff. And maybe that's why, you think back about Wayne Barnes and Nigel Owens. They would explain clearly why you're being penalised and what to do. Like there was a bit of that coaching element. Which maybe that's, because they were well loved. And I think maybe is that why? Because they would actually understand their perspective on the game.
Potentially. Yeah, that could be. But there's also this different crowd as well that looked at how those guys refed and went, see, these bloody refs are just making it all about themselves. Like, ultimately, this entire thing comes back to, as a referee, you just can't win.
Totally. And it's a very hard job. And I can't imagine, Andre Piatti doing it in his second language, running around. Like, you have to run, how many? They probably run 10Ks a game or something. Yeah. Running up, pausing, being able to see something, like, it's really fucking hard. So I can't entirely blame him. But he also, I think, part of the blame now can stick because you do have a TMO who is just watching screens. Maybe do they need a bit of a bunker thing going on? Just so everyone's looking at everything. But anyway, and I mean, think about how cricket does it. Yeah, completely different, and they kind of go step by step.
And different speed as well. Different speed of a game.
Yeah, and they have breaks. So maybe, but it's just, for me, this is something about the communication that needs to be improved, and I just find that really frustrating at times. The second thing, talking just about refs generally, I think it's quite clear what they're trying to do with the officiating. It's so many things could happen at a ruck, but as long as the team with the ball has the, metaphorical advantage, not the literal advantage, they let play go on. And I mean, even with the scrums now, there's I have seen hardly any scrum penalties. The only scrum destruction I've seen was South Africa versus New Zealand. So I don't know. Can you hear that? It's my cat.
I can hear that.
Yeah. I'll go check them out. But yeah, that's another thing. That's kind of I don't like.
Around the scrums and stuff like that, a lot of it is perception, and you are just guessing because a lot of it is it's called the dark arts already. Because sometimes you can, a more veteran prop can sort of take the weight and then drop, and instantly it looks like, that man, he's just his elbows come down. That's going to be penalty. And it's like, well, no, he wasn't actually holding his weight. He just sort of sacked and went down. Like ultimately, it's just rugby is a hard sport. Rugby is a hard sport to officiate and get right. And look, if we come off as salty for going at the ref, we're rugby. We're fans. We're going to get upset with things we can't control, and we can look at things back and wonder, well, why didn't he get that? Why didn't he get that? But ultimately, we have fans that we just frustrated that we pulling this all back to Bledisloe that we had a chance to actually beat them. And
totally. That's where it comes from me as well.
We were so close, and it kind of fuels me. And honestly, it fuels me for this week because I'm like, fuck. I reckon this team is better than last week's team, and I just want to see what they can do. You want to always take anything that you perceive as not a distraction, but almost deterrence, or if we had this away, and see what they can do. Because God, this team's good, and I just want to see it, put it all together on Saturday, please.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, with that, we're going to take a ad break, and we'll be back soon. I've got to go figure out what the cat's crying at.
I was going to say, we've been going for 40 minutes. I think that's enough.
Probably got to mention Women's World Cup.
No, we already did.
Oh, when? No.
Did we already talk about that?
No.
I thought we did.
No, because it was on Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right, yeah. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Okay. Give me a second. I got to find where the cat's doing. Nicholas, what are you doing? What are you doing? Bye, Clip. There you go. Why are you crying? What's going on? No idea what's going on. He only does that cry when he's locked in a room or something.
Right.
Yeah. It's quite a cute cry, wasn't it? That's little Pickles. Okay, we're back. Great ad there. One of my favorite ads. Nathan, just quickly to round off, we've been talking for a bit now. Let's round off. Women's World Cup, and we probably should talk about Super Oz while Nick's not here, especially. So let's start with Women's World Cup. England, I don't know how many games have run in a row, but
I think it's like 35 at this point. It's stupid.
Taken apart Canada. I mean, they really should just do it against the world, the cowards. But they're taking apart Canada. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the game and the World Cup?
On the first point, I love that idea. I forget the lines to it. Let's just do England against the world. Be awesome. Make them travel around. That'd be hectic. What I think of the game, the England side's amazing. Like they for all the pressure, like they are so much better than everyone else. But with that comes so much pressure on you to perform. Home crowd, stadium is packed out. Twickenham, the home of English rugby, like everybody is already writing your name on the trophy, and you have to go deliver. Like it's a tough pressure. And yeah, look, team's full of stars, and they just delivered. 33-13. Alex Matthews with double. Ellie Dunn gave the first one. Like our first one after the Ellie tried to Hogan Rochester to Canada, had a double. Like England just too good. In terms of this World Cup, I'm going to be frank. I don't see a way in which Australia matches what England did in 2025, just because of how far they are ahead of everybody else. Like as someone who's over there, dude, in terms of spectacles, it was incredible. They was packed out around the place. They are 5-10 years ahead of everybody else in the game. And like, don't get me wrong, 29 World Cups can be amazing here in Australia. But just the way England are positioned right now, where it comes to the support, the level of engagement around the women's rugby, it is on a completely different level to everybody else. An amazing spectacle, sort of has skyrocketed the game, and now it's really left an interesting point where Australia needs to do everything they can to try and match it when it comes to 2029. Just the way that the infrastructure works in England, it's going to be such a tough task. But let's focus on 25. Amazing tournament. England deserved winners. I just hope sort of this is what they can sort of get to a similar stage to what the Lionesses are over there, and they can really just sort of keep this momentum going heading into that first Lions tour in 27 in New Zealand.
Yeah, right. Is the next Women's World Cup going to be expanded like the Men's World Cup?
I'm not sure it's been confirmed yet, to be honest. I might be wrong. I might be talking completely out of my ass, but I don't know if they actually have locked it in yet, because they just expanded from 12 teams for this World Cup. So I don't think it will.
Yeah, right. Man, 12 teams, I don't like it. Just make it 16.
Yeah, no, that's why this one was 16.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Good number. Yeah, man. I didn't manage to catch a whole lot of games, but the ones I did, I really enjoyed. I think I cried myself to sleep on Saturday. Otherwise, I would watch the final. But yeah. Credit to England. Like, what a fucking run. Although I hate it. Although apparently they're number 10. Megan something. She's Welsh.
No, Zoe Harrison's a 10. I don't know
who. Then inside center.
Meg Jones is what you're looking for the center. Born in Cardiff.
Yeah. She's a Welsh speaker. I saw that headline somewhere. Welsh speaker leads England to World Cup final. Yeah, man, fantastic. It would have been great to see Canada win, not only because it would have meant England would have lost, but just would have kicked off something in Canada, I reckon. The Canadian Prime Minister, I saw he put a post up on Twitter congratulating the team on their achievements. So yeah. And
it still should in Canada. Like, they should say this and be like, oh well, we have no structure in place and we got to a final. Imagine what happens if we actually have some funding and structure.
And hopefully it should kick off something kind of at Rugby Australia as well. Not to say that they can place them, but to just say, hey, look what they can do. Yeah. Maybe we can do something similar and we would have more resources. Maybe, they get Marky Mark to go around talking to the girls playing NRLW. Get them back. Tiani Penatani.
This is the point. Like people were making today when I was chatting away. But we can get the sevens girls in the NRLW. Like you need the type 5 to be strong. That's where all the money has to do. Like keep throwing money into there. Make that a weapon. Because May Stewart, Player of the Year, was barely was able, they sort of limited her touches because they were able to just sort of condense and just take it out there. But there's only 6 spots in the back line. We don't need all the NRLW girls going back. But they can play back row. All right, the back row is the strength of that side, and there's already 4 very good young back rows in there. We don't need that many NRLW players. Sevens, absolutely. Because they've already played the game, you may as well call on them. They'll add quality. But for me, the investment's just got to be in the top 5.
Imagine NRLW version of Nathan Cleary, just playing number 10. Boom. All your problems solved.
Because that's what we think. Nathan Cleary comes in, our problems are solved.
Yeah, brother. Empatire. Let's move on. Super Rugby Oz, Force versus Waratahs. Who would have thought this would have been the outcome? No offense to either team, but crazy, man. Let's talk about Rugby Oz. It's been very enjoyable to watch as well. I think because I don't know if I said this last time, but I thought, comme ci, comme ça, it'll be all right. Just be shoot you. But it's actually been something really good to see the youngsters coming in, the guys you would have seen on the bench here and there. Just that energy of guys who played really well in the local club comps getting a spot. I think that's been kind of fantastic. And I'd love to, not that I've watched it closely, but to kind of get, he proved himself in Super Oz, so he's going to come play for, in Super Rugby. And to really get that idea of the pathways flowing, turn on that little tap. It's been great to see that. Really stoked for it, and kind of shows, with the result, I don't know how much, how seriously the Reds and Brumbies, not to say they haven't, no disrespect, have been taking it, given that they've supplied most of the members of the Wallabies. But it's just great to see that the squad players of the other Force and the Tars have, there's some talent there. It's not just Brumbies and Reds by a country mile.
It's a fascinating situation that you said this whole Super Rugby I was just thrown up, because what has happened is the Brumbies and Reds, we were joking throughout about Brumbies and Reds, haha. But I think the reason why the Waratahs and Force are in this position is because they're probably the 2 teams with the most spots open right now in terms of what's their best 15. So all of a sudden, you have these good dudes not exactly going out to take out, being like, we want to be the first Super Rugby Oz champions. No, they're being like, this is my chance to lock down a spot for 26. I look at the Waratahs back row, great example. Rob Leota, Lane Gleeson go overseas. Now, Charlie Gamble was just 7. That's already locked in. Pete Simon comes in summer as well. So suddenly there is 1 spot available, and you have Levi Talatana, Clem Halaholo, Jamie Adamson. All these guys are now fighting for this spot, and they've just been given a month to basically be like, here's a spot. Not only are you competing with other Super Rugby guys, you're competing within one of each other. Take it. And that's what happened. And all of a sudden, they're coming out there fiery. The Waratahs are winning because you've got these just hungry dudes just keep pushing each other. Michael McDonald at 9 for the Waratahs. Another great example. He sees a spot that he comes in and goes, I can take Teddy Wilson's spot. And he's pushed in. You then look at the Force. Pretty set in the back line, but Max Bury finally gets a shot in 10 and goes, you know what? No, I need to make myself undeniable. And lo and behold, Ben Donaldson comes back and he starts at 15. So Bury starts at 15. So you now look at him being like, well, I've got to find a spot for him in the 23. You wouldn't have said that a month ago. But this is what this competition has done, is these guys have now essentially, the guys from the Force and Waratahs who have seen a lot of sort of roster overhaul over the past 12 months are using this opportunity to essentially compete within each other and manage delivering these great results. And it can only be good things for Super Rugby heading forward when you have these guys who have had a bit more game time under their sort of, I can't think of the word. Just a more game time in terms of not just smashing each other at training. There'll probably be some sort of pre-season stuff as well that comes with it. And you just roll into the year. And yeah, like, who wins on the weekend? I don't know. If I look on paper, I would say the Force have a stronger side, but I also would have said the Reds had a stronger side than the Waratahs, probably relatively even with the Brumbies, and the Waratahs proved me wrong twice. So honestly, flip a coin, probably home advantage goes to the Force.
Yeah. Speaking of home advantage, about all the refs. It'll be a great game. I mean, talking about the 10 merry-go-round before,
Donaldson's
chance to
shine.
Donaldson's chance to shine. I wonder why he hasn't been picked. I wonder why he hasn't been picked at fullback for the Wallabies. Because
he's not a fullback,
the same player.
He's not the same player to me, mate. He's got to be a 10. Like, his kicking game's just too good. But I think if he puts a strong performance together, he probably ends up somewhere on that spring tour. It's some.
And I think, and look, honestly, probably it might be a masterstroke by Joe. You might say. He pushed Ben Donaldson to perform, and look where it's got Donaldson. In 6 months' time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've got no idea too, but it'll be a cracker of the game, and hopefully the Wallabies do win. So I'll be still up and about at what I imagine 12 p.m. on Sunday or something like that.
I think it's like 4 p.m. Sydney time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I can do it. Of course. Last thing to talk about. Rugby 360.
That'll check.
Is that the same?
Yeah, Rugby 360, yeah. R360 is what the kids are calling it.
Yeah. all over TikTok. The kids in fucking Dubai and Riyadh are calling it. Fucking stupid idea. Who's gonna fucking watch it? I mean, they have 2 teams in the US. I mean, so you're kind of fucking over MLR in the US for no reason. 2 teams in the US, no team in Australia, New Zealand, no team in South America. Can't remember how many teams in Europe. Stupid idea. The only thing I liked about it was poaching rugby league players. And kind of causing that, that pull, that tension of wages in NRL. But yeah, I don't know, mate. So nebulous. It's like the boys trying to organize something big. What do we think about, here and there, and what are your thoughts about? Yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I firstly, I love the fact that, because one of those things is when you go overseas and you sort of see somewhere, you realize, no offense to anyone who against fan league, I'm a fan of league as well. It means jack shit everywhere else. It means jack shit to every part of the world except the East Coast of Australia. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, again, in certain rugby league, what they call rugby league heartlands, some of the training, no one gives a shit. So it's so funny when they all of a sudden, they've shown the littlest of oh yeah, let's try and get the Australian market. Yeah, we'll sign him, and him. They're like, we're under attack. It's like, dude, they could have come through and raid you guys ages ago if they gave a shit. Here's my view on R360. I'm always down for innovation. I just think I don't see how it works. I don't see how people are interested, because it's comparable to the IPL, but the IPL works because it's in India and cricket is religion. If you're doing it all across the world in places which don't really care about rugby, why should they care about this? Why should Australians care about this? Again, why should Australians care about this? Why should Kiwis? You're essentially telling these sort of markets, which aren't really player focused, are more player driven in terms of who they support and who they will latch onto. And they are more focused on teams and the grassroots there to completely go against that and go support players. It's just not what we do. It's just not what a lot of these rugby countries do. So I think for the first couple of games, if it ends up going through, yeah, you'll have interest. I'm assuming it'll be readily available through YouTube as well, which is what's been reported. So people will tune in because they've got big names. But in terms of actually like latching on to people, I just don't see how it happens. Two things I think it can. One, get Australian athletes back into rugby union, which can hilarious to see the league is absolutely cry foul.
Yeah, they really melted over it. They've really melted.
It's not that big of a deal, guys. You're going to keep most of the stars, and the league is such. Again, Mark is the great example of this. League is the way the league is built. They'll create new stars within 12 months. It doesn't matter. Like all it takes is someone to put together 4 or 5 amazing tries, and they're a star in league.
Yeah.
But secondly, what I think it does more importantly is they're going to have to try something so ridiculous when it comes to laws and simplifying the game in terms of speed up or around communication, that I reckon it'll sort of like ping an idea and summon other World Rugby's or Rugby Australia's or whoever's looking at these comps and be like, they'll look at R360 and be like, well, that failed, but you know what they did around the ruck? That was actually really interesting. Let's trial that here. I think that's what it'll be good at. It'll end up bringing like some kind of law variation or some kind of timing thing that ultimately makes the game more free-flowing and enjoyable for the fans.
Like a really good innovation. Yeah, I think I've got 2 things for you. I think so the innovations. Oh, fuck, I can't remember what I was going to fucking say. It was a good point. Good point. Oh, the point was about the following teams versus individuals. I think, you know, if anyone was to praise the free market, Nathan, is that the free market figures out what most people want. And I think kind of what you're talking about, I think the free market might want to follow players. Like if you look at someone like Cristiano Ronaldo and the fans that he's got, or just how generally, you know, especially young kids all have a favorite player. So I think there might be something there, right? Whether that really...
That's not a rugby thing, though.
No, it's not a rugby thing. But maybe they're saying it could be a rugby thing. Because rugby fans are just like everyone else. So that could be an outcome of it, right? I mean, there is a lot of rugby things that are, you know, kind of made up or they're said to be rugby things. And there are a couple of rugby things that are rugby things. But that one, you know, might be a bit interesting. And if that was the case, I mean, I would like that. Because then it might, you know, knock on Super Rugby's door and say, hey, maybe we should stop letting Damien McKenzie not play for the All Blacks. You know, let him play for the All Blacks if he plays in Australia. Because I've always maintained that would bring so much more colour and interest and flavour to Super Rugby if that was to happen. But I digress. My real question for you, Nathan, is what crazy law variation would you want them to try?
Good question. Put me on the spot here.
I can start.
Go start.
So scrums can go up to 11 people. It's kind of like a line out.
Oh, you can pick your amount of scrums.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, like, how would that work formation-wise?
You'd have to figure out the formation. I mean, everyone would figure out the formation after a while. So if you said 4, you know, do you do a square or do you do 3 props? Or do you do 4 props?
There might be something there.
I mean, would you ever pick 4? Would you always pick a 3 or a 5 or something? So you always have a lot.
Like I feel like you have to just for...
I asked because I made this joke on Twitter that like maybe it will it'll be like the early days of UFC when it was all experimenting, because the whole point of UFC was to figure out what martial arts actually work. Hang on, give me a second.
While Nick checks this out, I'm going to say what my law variation will be. God, it's very, again, having bad leagues, I always go back to the idea of just make the penalties and drop goals less. Like, we should be like rewarding attacking rugby and stuff like that. Like, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, because I enjoyed the 50-22 coming in, so maybe something like that. I guess what I'll say right now is limit the points on drop goals and penalties. Like, let's reward attacking rugby. Let's not even attacking rugby, just like
Nathan. I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm sorry.
I'm still going. No, man, I'm saying my point here. 2 penalties should not be worth more than a try. Make it 2.5. Like, just drop it down a point. Let's just do that and see what happens. So no one can be bombing 7 penalties, and it's somehow worth 3 converted tries. Take it down to 2. Simple.
Wait, 2 points penalty.
Yeah, he's worked up 2 points for a penalty, 2 points for a field goal. Shouldn't be worth 3.
Wow, that's so rugby league of you.
That's how I started this. I started this by saying that exact same thing. It's very rugby league of me.
Oh, really? Chat, tell me if he was. I like this idea. Let's just sit here and ponder more rugby rules. I was pondering earlier today, Nathan.
Yeah.
Pondering with a colleague of mine. Because we're talking about enhanced games. So we're thinking, like, what could you feasibly, like, what world record could you beat? Could the 100-meter sprint record, how low could that go?
Yeah.
Because at the moment, it's like 9.8.
9.69. I think, or 9.58.
So if you rode it up, you got all the gear in the world to do it. And Nike's got, their most banned shoes. He's probably still get it down to 9.6. Right, there's got to be a limit.
But that's, again, are you saying the enhanced games at rugby?
Maybe.
Maybe. Roid people up and see what happens.
Oh, maybe only one player in your team could be roided up.
Firstly, that already happens. It's called South Africa. It's called the Curry Cup.
It's allegedly called South Africa.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I need to make that very clear. Those bow transformations are just hard work and meat and what's their brow. Brilliant.
Do you remember that photo of all the Springboks with their shirts off?
Yeah. And
you're like, you're pretty cut.
I don't know. That's a funny transformation there.
Yeah, so like your hook is roided up. So like your line out just goes the whole length of the pitch or something.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works for them.
You're not in a pondering mood? I'm ready to ponder. You don't sound like you're in a pondering mood.
I've got dinner coming up, so I can't ponder. I'll ponder over dinner, and I'll come back with thoughts.
Okay. What else have I got? Maybe
great chat, great pod chat.
Yeah, maybe
chat.
Editing. Well, I mean, mate, it's up. You can ponder too. I mean, editing is a marvel. Maybe.
No, but I quite literally. I actually cut this bit out. I actually have to go.
All right, let's cut it off then.
I've got a dinner met up with Finn and a couple of others in 15 minutes. It's a 20-minute walk.
Oh wow, shit. Okay. Oh well, you're potting. You should have told me, Nathan. All right, let's wrap it up then. Let's wrap it up. It's okay, mate. It's okay. Okay, I think that's about it. If you've got any law variations, let us know. Answers on the back of a postcard. Thank you for joining, Nathan. Before we go, just do you want to shout out anyone before we go?
It's not really my game. I'm not really a shout out person. Who do you want to shout out?
I want to shout out James Slipper.
Of course. What a man.
What a
151 one in final tests. Apparently, the one little nugget to end on. Apparently, the way he told everyone he was retiring, he just sent text in group chat being like, "Hey guys, this is my last test. Talk soon." Boom. that was it. That's how he announced he was retiring. He just fly up the group chat being like, "Hey guys, Saturday's my last game."
What a king! What an absolute king! And he also debuted in Perth, so it's all neat little package.
Full circle moment, isn't it?
Yeah, full circle. But thanks for joining, Nathan. I know you are on your way to have dinner. You are in Perth, ready for the game on the weekend. And I guess I mean I've already said one final thing, but I want to say one final thing. What's your prediction for the weekend?
Wallabies by 5.
Oh, good one.
We're doing it.
Oh, if the Wallabies win and South Africa lose, Rugby Championship's ours.
And they don't get a losing bonus point. We need a bonus point. We need a bonus point. They can't have a bonus point.
Fuck. What a shit end to a great competition. The Box winning it again. Yeah, cool. Anyway, thanks so much for joining, Nathan. Thanks everyone for listening, especially you, Julie T. We'll catch you around, maybe for an instant reaction. And come on the Wallabies. Ooh, Wallabies.